What's going on? You are listening to The Objective Jerk, and I am said jerk. How is everyone doing? Yeah, it's been a while since I recorded anything. I've said it before that I don't like doing podcast. Like, oh, it's Wednesday, I have to do a podcast. I got to find something to talk about. I'm more when I have something to talk about, then I'll record the podcast. So I've been kind of just really avoiding politics and everything. And what's funny is so I record the podcast, which goes to a platform, the Buzzsprout, and then I upload to YouTube, to BitChute and Rumble, and each one of those kind of if I talk about movies, I think the podcast does better, which is the one that I like to do better. I'm all about the podcast. I don't really care about the videos, to be honest with you. Obviously, because my videos are so basic and easy. And then, my political ones seem to do better on BitChute and Rumble. And then it kind of give or take on the stories that I read about, whatever. I don't know. Right now, though, for some reason, my left ear does not work. So these are wireless Marshall, whatever. And I tried it with my phone and turning it on, and I can listen to music and it works just fine. But for some reason, plugging it in is not working. I kind of think it's actually the computer, the jack, because I'm constantly plugging in and out. I need to get speakers so I could just connect that. I don't know. I think that's kind of what it. I have no idea, but it's driving me nuts because I can only hear it in my right ear. So that's bugging me. So I was messing with that for a little bit, trying to get stuff figured out. But whatever. Anyway, so I don't have anything to talk about. It's gonna be off the cuff, I guess. I'm just gonna go look at some news and just kind of talk about that and see if something comes up. And I'll let the AI of my podcasting platform figure out what the topic's gonna be. Give it a shot that way. Anyway, so I'm on Free Spoke. Let's see what's going on. So I'm gonna read top stories. Let's read top stories. White House says Trump in overall excellent health. MRI scan was perfectly normal. Minnesota state workers say Governor Tim Walz ignored warnings about $1 billion fraud scandal. Yeah, he's a douche. He's going to be out here pretty soon. National Guardsman Andrew Wolf fighting for his life after the ambush. So that's kind of the thing that's going on right now. And I haven't really paid too much attention to it just because, I don't know, it just kind of gets me pissed off a little bit, and I'm just tired of being pissed off about things that I really don't have control over except for voting, you know what I mean? So I'll vote when it comes time, but I'm trying to kind of really distance myself from all this, and maybe that's going to hurt my growing massive podcast. But yeah, it's kind of they weren't armed, which is stupid. They should at least had a sidearm. I don't know what. It's kind of retarded. It's almost, I remember when we used to go in the field, even in basic training, when we had to go to the field and we had the little, I forget what they're called, but it's like a little orange clamp that you stick on the end of your barrel and tighten it so it prevents, anything coming out, and you shoot your blanks with it and everything. And so, just like in the real world, you had to leave somebody to protect whatever. And, maybe the whole platoon would have to go off and do something, and then you'd leave one or two personnel back to guard, their little PC, what is it called again? Their little TOC, whatever. And they'd be like, we got to keep an eye on everything because, there's people out in the woods that will try and steal whatever kind of stuff they can. And I remember thinking, like, well, if they do show up, what are you going to do with blanks? We don't have any actual weapons, you know. So the fact that, I mean, and that's training, so it's understandable, but you have National Guard in the city trying to keep peace while ICE does their thing. And you know, but like, so they're just, it's all for show. Like, it's kind of stupid. What, I don't know why they did that. So that's kind of lame. And then the guy that was able to stop anything from, he had his pocket knife, which is, you know, good on him. That's, you know, but it's just like, man, come on. So you got to arm, if you're going to have National Guard as a presence for any kind of thing, you got to arm them. I don't know. But it's sad though. The one female, she died. And these individuals just like joined not too long ago too, I guess. Like they just got out of basic or something. You know, that's not something you would imagine joining the military, is if, especially if you're a National Guard and you're stateside, that something could happen. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. It's kind of crazy. It's sad. But then you got people like, oh, well, if they weren't there, it wouldn't have happened. Okay. Yeah, but there was a reason that they were there. But again, that's stupid to say, because that's like the old saying where like a woman gets raped and they're like, oh, well, she was dressed slutty. And it's like, well, it doesn't mean that she wants to get raped or wants to whatever. It's the same kind of thing, you know? Like it doesn't matter, you know, if they're there or not. They shouldn't be attacked just because they're there. My wife just added me to a GC about Christmas with a bunch of people. And of course they're going to, as soon as it came up, like added to whatever, I was like, I text, oh man, because I hate getting like ding, ding, just constant back and forth. It annoys me. Anyway, so I just had to mute it. Okay, so that's kind of, I don't know, what are your thoughts on the whole thing? Yeah, as far as I know, yeah, the female died, and then you have the guy, obviously, that's, you know, still alive, but not doing too well. And then the individual was, you know, Afghan Muslim that came over when Biden's awesome border security and just stayed here. It's so retarded. The immigration stuff and everybody, it's all BS though. I don't, you know, I think because the people do pay individuals to do this, what do you call it? Protesting, you know. Most people don't want to admit it, but they agree with what's going on. You know what I mean? Like my family, I have family that a lot of family that were TDS, anti-Trump, or friends. You know, the friendship on Facebook and whatever is non-existent. So either they're not my friends or whatever. But the family members that I am friends with, and my wife is actually friends with a few that I'm not, but they don't really say too much about this stuff. And I think it's because they're like, you know, they agree with it, but they don't want to admit it. They don't want to admit that they think that Trump is doing the right thing or whatever. You know what I mean? I love Trump as a president. I think he's doing awesome, but I can't wait for him to be done. So this TDS, but then you kind of wonder, because I'm pretty sure Vance is going to win. It's going to continue, and then it's just going to be, you know, JDS or VDS, whatever. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, all right. Let's see. Argentina releases files showing Hitler's angel of death. Joseph Mengele lived openly in the country for years. Yeah, you know, there's that conspiracy theory that Hitler actually did survive and he went to like Argentina and lived out his years. It's possible because they didn't really have any evidence of his, you know, it is possible, I think. I don't know what to think. I haven't really dived into that, but it is kind of a crazy one. Maybe I should look at that one and do that as a podcast. I'll put that in my notes so I can remember, because I forget stuff. Let's see. Conspiracy. Let's see. Hitler lived and died in, I think it was Argentina. That's where a lot of them went. That's where, like, I'll look at, so I got Gitler, and it's misspelled, and there's nothing to say Hitler. It's like, come on, dude, what are you trying? He was a real guy. Why can't you have it on there? Oh, we don't want to suggest Hitler. So stupid. Anyway, okay. Appeals court blocks Alina Habba from serving as a U.S. attorney for New Jersey. Okay. I don't know anything about that. DHS security Kristi Noem says Afghan national and D.C. guard ambush was radicalized in the U.S. So he came over just wanting to live and then became radicalized. I haven't heard that, so that's kind of new. I mean, there's so much bullshit. And then, like, in the States, there was an individual who, an English, citizen who went to America for vacation, shot like a shotgun, did some shooting, took pictures of it, posted it on Facebook, and when he went home, he was arrested. Because, oh my gosh, you don't want people to think that it's good to shoot guns or it's going to scare or hurt feelings. Like, for real, that's what it was. It is insane. Insane. And, if the dumbass Cackle Harris would have won, we would be in a similar situation. People would be losing their jobs, losing any kind of, can't get credit or whatever because they have guns or, they show, Second Amendment views, and I don't know. I'm pretty sure of it. Luckily, people recognize that, and she did not win. All right, let's see. President Trump says Ilhan Omar should be removed from the country if she claims she married her brother Archie. I think she did marry her brother. And you know what? I think people need to be citizens and live here in the States for a certain amount of time before they can run for any kind of office. You got so many people, Somalia, and it's like, dude, they're trying to take over. Oh, no. Sorry, if you want to run office, then go back to your country and I don't know. It's just crazy. From what I've seen and read, I think she did marry her brother, so I hope they do remove her. She needs to. She's a stupid cunt anyway. Trump invites family members of National Guard shooting victims to the White House. That's nice. Blessed are the peacemakers. Pope Leo arrives in Lebanon with calls for peace and unity. Yeah, Pope Leo needs to get on the gayness, though, man. The church is pushing that. You got Bishop What's-His-Face that just is probably gay and just trying to really push the acceptance of the gay lifestyle in the church. And you can't. It's not. You can't. There is no, for contemporary people or for modern audiences. It doesn't work that way. You can't change what Jesus said and what, the foundation. And that's what most other religions, most denominations done. They change little things so they can. Catholicism is the only Christianity religion there is. It's the one that Jesus created. All the traditions and all the things that Catholicism does was created by Jesus. Yes, the Bible was a result of all that because you had the individuals that wrote the Bible, the apostles, and various things, but it's just, I don't know, I'm still trying to figure out. They say that even if people are like Mormon or whatever, but they believe in God and they try and do what's right, that they, just because people can still go to heaven even though they're not Catholic. But the thing is like once you get to a point that you understand, like myself, and believe that you can't, if you change and do whatever, then that's not good. But because you have people in this world that don't know anything about religion. They live in those, they still live out in the middle of nowhere. So it's maybe it's like different. Maybe there's like different levels of heaven. You got the behind the red rope. You got the higher level people, and then you can only, I don't know. But anyway, I'm just rambling now. Netanyahu, what's his face calls him, Nintendo Yahoo or something, Nintendo or something, seeks presidential pardon as he faces ongoing fraud. Yeah, I don't know about that dude. I think he's corrupt as hell too. Should I click on anything? I don't think so. Nothing. See, I'm really not. I don't know, man. I'm just not getting worked, and I'm glad though. I'm glad I'm not getting worked up and wanting to talk about stuff. But then at the same time, that's kind of what this podcast that I started is about. So to be honest with you, I have kind of thought about maybe just stopping it, but I don't know. A lot of times it is beneficial for me. I enjoy getting things off my chest and talking about stuff. Luigi is on trial now. I wonder how that's going to go. U.S. news. There ain't really nothing too crazy going on. I don't know. The left keeps trying to create crap that's not really there. French mayor jailed for 4 years over sex tape. Blackmail plot. U.S. and Syrian forces destroy ISIS weapon sites in multi-day operation aimed at preventing resurgence. Well, that's good. All right. And what is this one? This is kind of both. Oh, wait, no. So that's the main story. That's kind of the middle. Now let's see what the left. American and Syrian forces conduct airstrikes on ISIS weapons storage facility. Forces. Nothing really there. Okay, U.S. budget watchdog chair resigns after worst ever forecast leak, takes responsibility. Well, at least they're taking responsibility for it. That's kind of the problem with who was the chick that did the Star Wars show? I watched a video on. She was Harvey Weinstein's assistant for years or whatever, and then she was the director. She's directed some movies or something, and then or shows or I don't know, but then she was the director and showrunner of The Acolyte. Yeah, Star Wars show I didn't watch, but I watched people who watched it and talked about it, and it looked like complete trash. It just looked horrible. Most people that they're just like, oh my gosh, it's so bad. And instead of okay, yeah, I wrote a bad show, I guess. Sorry. It's because you're racist and all this stuff. It's like, oh my god, nobody can take any kind of accountability for anything. Oh, here's that one thing. Argentina. Where am I at? I don't even know. Oh, 19 minutes. Okay. Argentina releases files showing Hitler's angel of death, Joseph Mengele, lived openly in the country for years. Probably wasn't just him. During his decade there, a document show. Openly in Argentina for declassified. That's kind of crazy. Hitler probably did too. Watch, that's going to come out someday. I wonder if because a lot of times the only reason nothing comes out as far as information or whatever is because if it does, somebody's going to be liable for it. And they, like the JFK files, they locked them up for so long because when they do open them, whoever was involved is dead. Whoever, conspiracide, whoever was part of it are gone. So it's like, but that's bullshit, man. People did this crap and they need to be held accountable. I'm tired of it. People need to go to jail. People need to go to insane asylums. Sick of all this crap. Tropical storms devastate Southeast Asia. Where was this at? We're at, let's see, Indonesia and Thailand. 600 dead, damn. There was a pretty bad flood here near Manila a month or two ago. And the last typhoon that hit us didn't really hit too hard, so that was actually good for us, but I know other parts of the country, not so much. Ukraine claims underwater drone strike. Underwater drone? They got underwater drones now? I didn't know that. Little submarines? Huh. I wonder if it can go from air to... That's kind of crazy. Strike set 2 Russian Shadow Fleet tankers on fire in Black Sea. Ukraine releases footage of kamikaze drone boats. So it's a boat then. Striking Shadow. Okay, well, a boat's a little bit easier, I guess. Ukraine hits tankers in Black Sea in escalation against Russia. So it's not really... They're still doing their crap. Still doing their crap. And what's let's see, another thing I heard. So the COVID shot, right? Oh my gosh, it's safe. Everybody needs to take it or you're gonna die. And the people who were most non-susceptible to it were young individuals who were healthy and normal. You know, none of them, it didn't matter. It didn't bother them at all. But then the shot actually killed more children than COVID did. You know, what does that tell you? That whole thing was so stupid. Man, and you know, a lot of people say it was like a trial run to kind of just see. And that's kind of scary to think about. I mean, I think right now, if another thing, people would not, you know, fall in line. I mean, a lot of people would not fall in line like they did last time. You still got those psychos, those liberal retards that will, the government's here to help me. But, yeah, it wouldn't be. It's going to be, I think, another 10, 20 years from now, there'll be another retarded thing like this again. Like the... You know, damn. Let's see. 6.0 magnitude earthquake rocks Alaska. No injuries or damage. But then I'm showing a picture here of this road. Looks pretty jacked up. That's some damage right there. Earthquakes, man. Earthquakes are, you know, I live in the Philippines. It's basically, well, it is an island, you know, and how are islands created from, you know, volcanoes basically under the ocean, right? And usually by volcanoes, you're going to have earthquakes. Anyway, there's the fault. What do they call it? Anyway, but yeah, we get earthquakes here. I mean, a lot of small ones. You'll just kind of sit there and feel it kind of shake a little bit. Then you're like, oh, there was one. And then sometimes it's, you know, you really feel it. And you're like, okay, is it going to get worse? And then it kind of just goes away. Where I live, I'm not really worried about it. But I do worry about possible damage to my home and stuff like that. But I'm not worried about, you know, dying or my walls crumbling or anything. You know, we're okay. But like whenever I go to Manila, I get a little antsy about it. Last time we were in Manila, we were at the hotel we were staying at. Had a little restaurant on the top, the very, you know, top of the building, the hotel. I mean, it was only like, I don't know, 13 floors or something. It wasn't real big, but you know, we're up there and it's cool. Got a nice view, eating some food. And I was just like, man, I hope there's no earthquake because that would suck. Anyway, that's it. Another great episode by The Jerk, rambling about nothing. I'm hoping that the AI and Buzzsprout will come up with a good subject and title. Anyway, if there's a topic you want me to discuss, let me know. Appreciate your time. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you guys next time. All right, God bless. Bye.